All right, good evening, everybody. This is Reality Is. So here's a doozy for the night. Got somebody on the phone while I'm making this video and listen to this conversation. Because usually we do this together on Ustream, but unfortunately they can't see the YouTube video. So he's going to listen while I'm doing the video. So anyway, we was having a conversation at the dinner table on yesterday, and one of my relatives brought up this Brazilian pastor. And so I pulled up the headlines, and it says Brazilian pastor is behind bars after telling his flock that his penis contained holy milk. Now, for all you folks out there in video land, Ustream land, TV land, church environment, school environment, home environment, whatever it may be, I know that when somebody stand up in the front of a bunch of people and tell you that what's coming out of his body is holy, I know you all need to have better sense than to believe some mess like that. And I know your instincts should kick in and tell you that it's a scheme and a gimmick to get a free blowjob, because basically that's what it was, a free blowjob. And he gonna bust hell wide open, tricking folks to come up there to give him a free blowjob, because that's exactly what it was. Ain't no sense of sugarcoating it and call it what it ain't, or trying to go around the bush or over the tree or under the hill. We going straight through the bushes. That was a free blowjob. It was a public service. He thought in his mind how to get him a free blowjob. Now, for all you Bible readers, you should read your word more often than every 6 months or once a year or on Easter and Christmas when y'all show up at church. This is how you get misled. This is how you fall for the okey doke. It doesn't make any sense for you to believe something like, because he a pastor, do that make it seem like it was legitimate or it was valid in his statement? And why? How many women did actually meet him in the back room to do this? And why you got to wait until you can't stop doing it, what you're doing, until he ejaculates? Yes. Does that make any sense? No, it does not. That is crazy as hell to me. He could have took his 5 fingers, cuffed himself, and provided service to himself. See, I don't care whatever you in, whatever religion you in, you need to read your books, whatever books they give you. Stop falling for this. Y'all, you got cults, people that died. Listen to somebody say that the end of the world was coming, or you got to stop eating, you got to sacrifice your kids, and all this stuff. There are sins in the Bible. We know that. Fornication is a sin. Adultery is a sin. We all know this. So why would you fall for this man? And because he's a pastor doesn't make it right. And when he read or say something, you need to look it up and do some research before you follow through. They're still human beings. I don't care how you look at it. They're still human beings. They just have the name as pastor. And this kind of stuff is what deter people from going to church and all this stuff for this craziness. And it needs to stop. You using God's house for a gimmick, and y'all gonna bust hell wide open. You're gonna be on a roller coaster ride down, and that ain't no joke. For you misleading people, there is a cost to misleading people. Lying is wrong. Manipulating and deceiving people is wrong, and it needs to stop. And for all you Christian folks, quote, you say you Christian and you fall for this stuff, you need to go back and check yourself, because you just holding the seat in the church. You don't know what thus said the Lord, because if you did, you wouldn't follow half this crap that some of these people put out and tell you what is of God, and it ain't nowhere near God, not at all, because God don't dwell in no mess like that, and that's mess, and that's nasty mess. And you sit up there and you listen to that stuff. No, you need to run out the door. When you have an inkling and something not right, run out the door, because everybody that say they are preacher are not what God called to preach. They sent themselves. So you need to know the difference and call and send in yourself. And these people that make all these statements up in these pulpits, they sent themselves. They ain't got nothing to do with no God nowhere. They just using God as a tool to get through, to get what they want or whatever it may be. But I'm telling you, they're going to bust hell wide open. Roller coaster ride down. So y'all need to pay attention to that stuff. That's all I got to say. Now swallow that.